before we really get going, I'm gonna go ahead and acknowledge the elephant in the room, because I know that there's super chats and all of that. And I spoke about this publicly yesterday, and I don't have really anything to add, much like I said, but there are people that know of this that don't follow me on Twitter, and they hadn't maybe seen it. So I think it's important that this video exists, because, or me talking about this exists because, well, again, people are going to ask about it, and I do think it's important. So you guys may or may not know, there were some things that were said last night, right, in a stream by Nick Rekieta that was aimed at me. Okay. And he, the next morning, as indicated right here, he's apologizing for losing his cool. And he said right here, however, that, I'd be justified in thinking he's an asshole, took things to a stupid level. I want to be very, very clear, and this is what it is that I said. I have no intentions on going there with him. And that's just not going to happen. I'm not going to go after him or any of that. I did reach out to him and privately about that. And once I got wind of it, and there were some other things that I saw that happened after the fact that were part of that same stream, but I did end up texting him, and he acknowledged. The reason I'm bringing that up is because I did say that, and he, of course, acknowledged that I reached out to him first. And we will let him calm down. And at some point, we're going to have our conversation. Okay. And that's why I'm not going to address the things it is that he said in there. I will address that. I get it. And that's another reason why this exists, because people are sending me videos and clips and all this. I understand it. I've already seen it. Trust me. I'm not going to address that stuff publicly. I will address it directly with him. And look, everything it is that I do, believe it or not, and there's some people that are just going to think that because they operate on a different wavelength, this is not how I operate. However, I have an ultimate end game here. Okay. The Rippaverse is part of that. And there's a vision that I have for the world, right? And I want to be a part of that solution. So be it the things that I see and identify economically, people that have been following me over the years, that's all a part of it. How I use my band, all of that is part of that ultimate end game. And in understanding that, I also understand strategy. Okay. And for me, it is abundantly clear that, be it with Nick, it's not conducive in the event that I respond or I acknowledge something, even if I disagree with it, even if I find it to be off-putting or incorrect. I've done it in the past because I value what my end game is. And I understand that between the audience reaction and all of that, with my folks going after him or any of that, because I understand strategy, to me, it is not worth it to continue on with that. And for me, I will take a step back in the sense that, look, I get it. When you value someone else over, let's say myself in this case, it's an expectation, and I might find it bizarre, and I don't agree with acting as such, but it's an expectation that I am to be the one that absorbs everything, right? If something's levied at me, I should ignore it. It's, well, this person has good intentions. It's, this person may agree with you. It's all of that. They are able to levy things at me. In the event that I respond and address them, then I'm an ego. These people might think I have ego. He can't take criticism. It's all these other things. So I'm expected to absorb it. But when it comes specifically to Nick, like I've said, there's other things that I value there. And I don't think with someone that has kind of a blend of audiences, especially, I don't think it's conducive for me to have a spout there publicly. And I don't want any part of that. So that's why, for me moving forward, when it comes to him, I'm not saying that he's going to change his approach. I'm not. That's not what it is that I'm saying. If I even disagree with whatever, I'm good. I'm not saying anything about it. We'll have our conversations privately. We'll address this stuff. We'll air our grievances. And look, I don't want anybody to come out of that. I'll be honest with you. I don't want anybody to come out of that thinking that, well, this means that, it's going to go one way or the other. Like, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, hey, go on separate ways, whatever, or we're buddy. I don't want you to be under that impression, because that's not the intention. What I want out of this is for us to get beyond this gay shit, and at least there's no kind of public continuation of animosity, and I won't be a part of that. That's what I want. What happens out of that and how others feel about it don't really, that's not of my concern. It's just that as long as at least we can say, you know what, these are the issues, we talk about those privately, air it out like men, and then move forward. There's no issues. That's all I care about, and that's going to be my approach, right? So I get it. I've seen everything. I understand that there are things that have been said that you'd maybe find indefensible, and I'm not saying that I didn't see it, right? All I'm saying is I'm not going to address that stuff publicly. I will address it directly with him. I will resolve it, hopefully, directly with him, and we'll be good. But either way, no matter what happens out of that conversation going forward, if I find something, definitely particularly with that, with him, and I maybe disagree with an approach or something I was said about me, I have nothing to say publicly, and I'm not at least going to be the one that's participating in that. So I think that it's important to acknowledge that.